Hello, welcome to my channel, UH2. One thing all beach lovers know is that they're not alone in water. There are more than 500 species of sharks spread across the world's ocean. And although greatly feared now, people actually never minded sharks much until the release of Jaws, which creator Steven Spielberg regretted and went out of his way to help the species. And there are much more recent shark movies, such as the well-known Meg and its sequel, Meg 2: The Trench. But the truth is about sharks is that the larger ones prefer much fatter prey like seals and dolphins, and humans are simply just much too bony and skinny. And as I've referenced, lots of sharks like the silver shark are much smaller, so go after smaller prey, crabs, octopus, shellfish, and smaller animals than seals and humans. But for the sharks that do wreak attacks on mankind, they've been simplified into 3 unique species. The 3 ones that wreak attack on mankind the most often and most numerous. And these attacks are often the most gruesome. But fear not, shark attacks are rather rare. You're more likely to get struck by lightning or stung by a bee than being in the belly of a shark. Number 1. The bull shark. Named for its bulky body and its method of ramming prey senses when it goes on for a hunt, the bull shark is 7 feet long for the males and 11 feet for the females. They weigh from 200 to 500 pounds and can be found widespread across the ocean. These sharks are very aggressive, and to make things worse, they can swim up a river, making attacks on humans rather common. They've even been known to swim up the Zambian River in Africa and attack young hippos. July 1st, 1961. Charles Upton Basin and his family went on a vacation at the England Side Hotel. He decided to take a swim just before sunset. He and his Newfoundland friend, a Chesapeake Bay Retriever, slipped into the warm evening water. Underneath them, they saw fish of all sorts swimming, but they never saw the shark. Lifeguard Ott and bystander Sheraton Taylor were both chatting on the beach when they heard Basin screaming. At first, they just thought he was calling the dog, but the dog was speeding to shore, and it looked scared. They both looked at Basin again. He was being pulled underwater by something. Without thinking, they both ran to the water and grabbed Basin by the shoulders, pulling him to the shore, leaving behind red water and a fin. They gasped when they saw his left thigh was stripped of flesh, leaving a red, bloody limb and a red mess. He was dragged to the office desk of the hotel, where he bled out at 6:45 p.m. 5 days later, Charles Bruder had been vacationing at Spring Lake at the Essex and Sussex Hotel. Bruder began swimming far out into the clear water. He was 130 miles from shore when he felt what was like giant needles sink into his abdomen. He began to scream in pain. Lifeguard Chris Anderson and George White got to him on a lifeboat where they found out what attacked him. They rolled Bruder to shore, but he died from blood loss due to a severed leg. The Mattawan Man-Eater. Barriers had been placed near swimming areas immediately after the attacks, but what was about to happen was going to bring fear to a whole new level. The people of Mattawan felt pretty secure about swimming in Mattawan Creek. Thomas Cat Trek a retired fishing captain, was walking home from fishing when he saw something that to him seemed impossible. A huge shark was heading up the creek. Hardly believing what he saw, the captain ran to warn everyone, but he was dismissed, a very grave mistake by the people of Matawan. The 12th of July, 12 days after Fason's death. Lester Stillwell got to leave work a little early. After meeting up with some friends, they went for a swim at Matawan Creek. While enjoying the water, Lester told his friends to watch him float on his back. A moment later, he was pulled hard into the water. Blood filled up the water as the shark attacked him. His friends ran into town screaming and crying for help. 24-year-old Stanley Fisker ran his way to the creek, simply thinking the boy had suffered an epileptic seizure. But little did he know the truth. Him and another man dove into the water to save the boy. As Stanley pulled the boy, he was attacked, and he died a few hours later. Joseph Dune was the last participant attacked. He escaped, but his leg did not. 2. The tiger shark. Females are from 8 to 10 feet in length, while the claspers are much smaller, at 7 to 9 feet, and can weigh from 850 to 1,400 pounds. These guys will swim in tropic and subtropical waters worldwide. They prefer places with fresh water runs into salty oceans. Here many different species can be found to make up their diet. And the older they get, the more faded their stripes become. One thing I must mention is the shark's appetite, going so far to eat abiotic objects. Here are some of the weirdest things found in one of these: a cannonball, porcupine clothes, a bottle of wine, and there's also been some weird animals: chickens, a deer antler, and a hyena. Tiger sharks have the second highest attack rate on humans, swimming in right after the great white shark. There have been 138 attacks so far, with 36 having died. This makes sense since they live close to fresh water, like the bull shark. They have attacked people without any case of being provoked, making them one of the most aggressive sharks ever. One of these people was Bethany Hamilton, who was attacked at age 13 on Halloween morning. It had rained recently, but the water was clear. She went out to surf with her friend Alana at Tunnels Beach Couple. Alana's father and brother as well. While Hamilton was on her belly talking to Alana, a 14-foot tiger shark swiftly took her arm off. Alana and her father and brother paddled the girl back to the beach. The father made a tourniquet out of his rash guard and wrapped it around the stump that used to be Bethany's arm. She was rushed to the Wilcox Memorial Hospital. She had lost more than 60% of her blood. She was also in hypervolemic shock as a result. This is when you go into shock because of a low amount of extracellular fluid, either from a loss of salt and water, or in this case blood. She took her father's place in the operating room, as he was scheduled to have knee surgery on the same day. After the attack hit the news, some fishermen showed a photo of a 14-foot tiger shark they had caught and killed. It had surfboard remains in its mouth, and its jaws also matched the bite of the surfboard. The shark had made it a mile away from where it had attacked Bethany. Bethany got back to surfing a month after the attack. She taught herself how to surf with just one arm by kicking more. She now uses a custom-made board much longer and thicker than the original. Her old surfboard and the swimming suit she wore on the day of the attack are now on display at the California Surf Museum. Bethany does not hold hatred against sharks, as she said on Facebook. It's been almost 16 years since I lost my arm to a shark, and I have gained so much since then. I view sharks as beautiful creatures, and it's rare to have incidents with them. Also know also means a healthy shark population. Sharks play a vital role in our ecosystem by aiding the dead, dying, and weak animals, while regularly aiding the prey's population. The accidents is something I've embraced as part of my life. One of the most beautiful things that came from it is how it allowed me to see that I can overcome difficult times by the grace of God. Telling me that I have the ability to overcome my fears, doubts, and crazy challenges. Life is full of what's ifs. Let's not let them hold us back. Bethany now lives in Kauai, Hawaii. She is married to Adam Dirks, and they have 4 children: Tobias, Wesley, Micah, and Ayla Dorothy Kirks. She uses her lack of an arm to reach out to the amputated community. Her religion is Christian. She uses her loss to bring others closer to the creep. This happened rather recently, on the 9th of last June. Vladimir Popov was vacationing in Berglos, Egypt, with his father and girlfriend. Popov slipped into the water, filled with many other tourists, but things for him were about to turn red. A large fin approached the 23-year-old. Everyone who escaped, including his girlfriend, had to watch helplessly as a tiger shark dragged him underwater. Papa's last words were, "Papa, save me," before he was dragged underwater. The shark toyed with his body for 2 whole hours. Not long after, it was caught in a fishing net and brutally, and I mean brutally, beaten to death. The remains of Vladimir were found inside the 10-foot shark. His father, Yuri, was surprised about the attack, where he said, "This is an absolutely ridiculous coincidence, because it is a safe beach. There are ships and yachts around. No place in nature can be guaranteed safe 100%. Everyone saw this coming, of course. The great white is the 3rd largest shark alive, with only the basking and the whale shark being larger. The average great white female is 15 to 21 feet, and can weigh 1,500 pounds to a ton and 400 pounds, while average males are 11 to 13 feet and 1,150 to 1,700. The newest and largest great white ever recorded. She is 20 feet and weighs 2 tons and 1,500 pounds.
Hey, you wanna see something cool?
She may be getting bigger. Yes, you heard right. Sharks never stop growing in their lives as long as they have the right environment. And right now, deep blue is 60, and great whites have some of the longest shark lifespans at 70 years. So by the time deep blue reaches the end, we could have a very large great white, possibly the biggest in history. It is also believed she has had over 100 babies in her lifetime. Great whites are found in about all coastal and offshore waters. They prefer more temperate waters, where it's easy to adopt, and the food they love is abundant. They avoid the colder waters of the Arctic and Antarctic. Great whites are apex predators, so they eat about everything that swims in the ocean. Their diet includes fish like tuna and marlin, sea turtles, seabirds, cetaceans, and let's not forget the classic seals and sea lions. Great whites are ambush hunters, swimming deep below the water, searching for prey above. Once found, they position themselves below their target before swimming at high speeds towards it. After taking a bite, they wait for their prey to bleed out. And to protect from injuries, great whites roll their eyes back into their head. Great whites have great vision, but they can't make out all the details of prey to all know their conditions. This is why they prefer to have brighter times of day than night at dusk. This is also why attacks happen sometimes. A person floating on the surface from below could very much resemble a seal or sea lion in poor lighting. Just before I get to the attacks, I wanted to inform you of a rather interesting fact. Great white's teeth are so sharp you could shave with them. The great white has been the one behind the most attacks on humans, with 333 attacks recorded once at least, 57 ending fatally.